Okay, I hope I did this right. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play Painted Live. I don't know if shoot, I may have to end this stream. No, I think we're okay. Let me check my sound, see how my sound is doing, making sure I have the right sound here. 1 second, people. Let's go ahead and go to our creator page. Hope you guys are having a good Friday evening. Let's see what we got. Whoop, 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 whoop. Cruising our way towards, dare I say, 3,000 subscribers on this channel. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. Let's see what we got. Stream status. Stream status bad. Always bad. Why is it bad? Whatever, man. Why is the stream status always bad? Whatever, man. Why is this? Well, my sound is coming in fine. Whatever. We're gonna do what we do. Okay. So we got an interesting scenario tonight. I do not have my airbrush tonight. What happened was my compressor died about 3 nights ago. So we're back to like old school people. I'm talking like this is like 2013 Play It Painted. Back in the day, back when your man had some mad brush skills and was just fast and efficient, kind of thing. And I'm still trying to power through this commission. We're still doing what we can do. Tonight we're going to paint some Arcadia Quest heroes, because that's what you do, I guess. And you can see I sprayed them with spray primer. Yeah, so a little spray primer on these guys. It's been a while. So we're going to paint 6 heroes, or we'll see how far we go. We're going to go through 6 heroes, and I'm going to paint 3 of the pets too. And no airbrush tonight. Look, Mom, no airbrush. So it's going to be a little fancy. And so the first thing we're going to do is I want to outline all these eyeballs. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get our ever useful armor wash. And yeah, this is how you do Arcadia Quest eyeballs, because it's different than SDE eyeballs. SDE eyeballs are like traditional chibi anime style. This is more, I don't even know what the hell you call this. This is more ugly. Not. I mean, okay. I do have a personal bias here. All right. I just think that the soda pop ones are better looking. All right. So we're going to just so I'm going to paint this whole area here. All right. And we're going to get the outline of all this stuff, right? All the teeth and all that kind of stuff. So we'll do that. Let's see, like guys like this, where the pupils are already sculpted in. You just kind of slosh it around in there, right? Get as much of it out as you can once you get it in, because you're just trying to outline everything, right? Yeah, the eyeballs are kind of weird. Like the detail on this guy's eyeballs are pretty profound. He's like the cool looking Strider guy. I don't even know how you adequately do that. See if I can get the armor wash to just sit underneath the eye there. And then I want it back in this corner as well. There we go. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Welcome to the feed, man. Yeah, we're doing this old school, dude. Doing this old school. Thought about playing some games tonight, but nobody. The only person that said they were down was Jose. So I was like, whatever. I can get back to painting these anyway. So it's all good. We'll get back to painting this. Okay. I'll yell there. I did order a new compressor. It should be here tomorrow. So, but tonight we're gonna. I'm not letting that stop me, man. We're just gonna do this. We're just doing it. And you get. What's up, Congo? I guess this guy does not have pupils dialed in. I'm just desperately trying to get. There we go. As long as I can get it to shade in there. Why is the background different? What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. You mean this? The paper? Is it just lit different, maybe? I didn't change my lighting or my setup or anything. Okay. And you got Legolas here. I don't know. Oh, no face cam. Well, I actually took the camera that I usually use for the face cam. Well, a couple of reasons. One, the camera I usually use for face cam, I was using today to record a game of Arcadia that I played with Jose. That I'm debating whether or not that one's worth uploading. We'll see. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing that happened there. And the other reason is this is the YouTube live function. I'm not using XSplit because XSplit can suck a bag of dicks right now. XSplit, I don't know what the hell is the matter with XSplit, but it uses up almost all my CPU, and it's just laggy and annoying, and I don't really know why it's doing any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Oh. There, I just need that to sit there. So, yeah. This is what we're doing tonight. And I guess we could talk a little bit about Guild Ball Arcadia, whatever you guys feel like talking about. But I am going to be painting these things. It's interesting. We'll see how we do. It's been, again, like I said, it's been many years since I just went in on miniatures without using an airbrush. So what I decided to do was I broke the the remaining 17 miniatures, I broke them down into two groups, really. One group that doesn't need much for priming and for lighting effects, meaning these guys. And then the other group they've got like non-metallic weapons and stuff I want that I think is much better with an airbrush. So that's why I broke these groups into the groups I did. Essentially, these are the guys without metallic weapons. There's only one metallic weapon in this group, and the design of that weapon does not really call for like a typical airbrush NMM that I might do. So we'll see how we do. Okay. So let that dry for a second. Obviously, getting the eyes correct on Chibi is like first and foremost. But in addition, you got to paint all the little tongues and stuff in. So what do you guys, anyone here working on anything tonight? Let me know in the comments. Let's do one little drop of water here. We'll paint the tongues in, and we're just gonna give this stuff a hot minute to dry before we really get into it, okay? Let's see if this might have a little issue covering. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I'm not gonna quite cover right now. Okay, so we'll do that. But yeah, the main thing here is I want that armor wash to dry over the eyes. Doesn't even look like it really did much on her. Like it dried too light. Maybe I didn't put enough of it on. Yeah. I really need it to be like a dark ring in there. So hold on. Right. You're really trying to get it to flow all the way around like that. So if it means waiting a little bit longer, it's okay. Let's give that time to dry like that. Now these guys just kind of have their tongues sticking out. Like why does Legolas have his tongue sticking out? I don't understand. Do not get it. It's whatever though. I mean, you guys know how I feel about these minis. They're just, after years and years of painting the Soda Pop Chibi, these are to be polite about it, these are not as good. They're just not. And it's not the technical feasibility of the sculpts. It's just that the art styling is not good. Why is Legolas's why is Legolas' tongue sticking out? That's not very Legolas. It is not. Gosh, the guys that do that have to spray primer out of a rattle can, I forgot. You really gotta shoot it everywhere to get, a decent job priming. It's just not so great. And let me show you here once I get this tongue in. This little turtle here. Does anybody else need a tongue? Oh, I still have a couple guys that have. Yeah. Hold on. So if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. Tonight we're painting some Arcadia Quest. But I don't know anything about this game. I played it once, was mildly entertained by it, but not into the minis. So that's what we got. Like, what is up with these dudes and their tongues being out? It's like the Muppet Show here. Again, I don't even like. Why does that need to be a thing? Okay. All right. Okay, so let's let that dry for a second. I'm going to show you guys the art of what we're painting tonight. Give you an idea of what we're up against. Here are the three pets that we're painting tonight. Sheldon, he's a turtle. Yep, that's that. And Puff is a red dragon with there's supposed to be a green gem on his head. I see no green gem. And yeah, it's just it's a dragon. And then you got Newton, who's a green chameleon with a couple little accents on him. Okay. Yeah. And then on the heroes, you got Zazu. He's a monk. He's got brown robes. Yeah, that's what that guy does. I don't even think they didn't dot his eyes in, which is fine. I'll dot the eyes in. It's not a big deal. And you got Green Sleeves, aka Legolas. He's Legolas. See what? I just don't like this art style. I think it's terrible. It's like that shitty Steven Universe or Thundercats Roar, or it's that new lazy style of animation, and it's shitty. I never liked it. I just think it's awful. Seth is some sort of gothic edgelord. He's got the long hair. Yeah. Pretty sure he works at a Best Buy, something like that. And then you got Maya. She's supposed to be the sexy women's. She's got the sexy women's armor. Yeah, I don't know. She's the one that looks, in sculpt wise, she's the one that looks the most like a Soda Pop miniature, but is clearly not a Soda Pop miniature. And then you got Hobbs Bomb. He's yeah, that's what that guy looks like. Yeah, and then wait, Wisp. He's the other edgelord. Yep. Okay. So I'm glad we got that. I mean, everything is very predictable, safe, boring, plain. It's, yeah. All right. So let's get the white out. I mean, the good news here with this type of miniature is they paint well. They paint to a decent standard with just a good, a good solid base coat on them. They look good. All right. So this is going to be a little annoying here. So all I'm trying to do here is just going to get a little bit of white in the eyes. But see, the fact that the eye is sculpted in actually makes this a little bit harder. It just makes it a little tougher. And again, it's very not chibi. Well, it's chibi. It's just not very anime chibi. It's more like bald-head chibi. So I'm going to get the white here around the pupils. And it just looks weird. Guy here, I don't think he has any pupils put in. So paint that in. Yeah, so we played some. Oh man, never mind. Okay. Okay. All right. So tonight's rant is going to be about virtue signaling. Yes, it's a topic that I'm sure I covered before, but you know, it came about. I was conversation I was having with my wife a few nights back. Right, one of her students sent her this like Prince Ia thing, right? And you guys have seen all the Prince Ia things. It's like, oh, yeah. And and here's the thing about Prince Ia. Like Prince Ia makes good points on some of his stuff, like our addiction to technology. And in this particular one, he was talking about the uselessness of stuff you learn in school and how the education system is failing us, right? These are all points that I think that I can certainly agree with. I think most of you guys would agree with, and that kind of stuff, right? And here's the thing. When I see stuff like that, and even though it's stuff I agree with, it just comes off really cringy, really preachy, and it bugs me, like it bothers me, right? And I kind of told my wife as much. I was like, yeah, I just find it kind of grating. I'm not really a fan. I don't really like that. And it's not that I disagree with it, because I totally agree with what he's saying. And she just kind of bounced it back off me, like, what is it about you that makes this guy so grating to you? Why do you find him so grating? And I'm like, well, it's not just him. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. And I started to think about it, right? And I started to think about all those times, and you guys may have felt the same way. If you have people on your Facebook feed, your social media feed, or whatever, that just post shit that just bugs, it just annoys you, right? Like, it's like some wise fucking guy said this, and it's really insightful, so I'm going to share it on my feed, and a bunch of people are going to say amen and well said, and and we were talking about the education thing too, like well said, yeah, it is a problem, yeah, you're really brave for sharing that, you're just so insightful, yeah. So these people that share shit from Prince Ia or Lady Gaga or Emma Watson or like Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? And all this shit that's like, oh man, it's so insightful. It's so insightful, and I'm just so glad that you're sharing this because it's shared in this very safe, you know, these are very safe opinions, uh, and and everyone kind of sees the sharing of that as being a very safe thing, right? Being a very safe, not just safe, but like a wise thing. Okay, and and like I said, you may agree with most of it, but if you're like me, it gets under your fucking skin, right? It just bugs you, and I really had to examine, like, kind of take a look at myself and go, okay, either I'm just being a massive asshole and just jealous or something, right? Of the attention that so and so is getting for sharing it on their feed, and Prince is getting for sharing this shit, right? For being on fucking Patreon and putting together this wisdom for people to share with each other. And I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, that shit gets on my nerves. What else? What else gets on your nerves, right? And I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, you know what else gets on my nerves? That stupid HBO clip. It's from their show, The News. I think it's The News. Where like uh, where John Hurd, where John Hurd is like a member of the press, and they're sitting on this panel at a university, and this girl gets up and goes, well, what in your opinion makes America the greatest country? And the one person goes, diversity and inclusion, and the other person goes, today little Billy took a dump in my lap. Let's talk about that. Yeah. And the other guy spits out some other garbage, right? But wait, but hold on. John Hurd has something to say. And he goes, well, I don't think we're very great. and people to the gasps and shrieks of college students. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, college students fucking hate America, okay? Most of them, like the liberal college, they fucking hate America. It's racist. You can't say Americans. Anyway, so he goes on this tirade like, we're number 34 in education and we're number 176 in infant mortality, right? And he just goes on this diatribe of why America is not the greatest country on earth, right? And it's like such a big moment. Everybody thinks it's this big fucking deal that you see it on your timeline. If you're like me, you see it on your timeline at least 3 to 4 times a year. Some stupid fuck puts it on their thing and they share it like, oh, share this with everybody. America's not that great, you guys, right? Not the greatest country on the planet, right? And so and everybody, then people are patting each other on the back and everyone thinks this is awesome, and you're like, okay, so then you ask them, because I get sick, like, because it's the same stupid 3 or 4 people on my feed, and I straight up ask them, like, okay, then why don't you tell me then what is the greatest country on earth? Why don't you tell me? Go ahead, fucking tell me what, if America is not the greatest country, and I'm willing to admit that, I'm willing to cede that point, tell me what is. And people will come back with the stupid dumbest fucking answers you've ever heard, right? And they're just, I'm gonna say New Zealand because nobody lives there. Like, they come up with the stupidest shit when you actually ask them a question, or they just block you. And here's the thing. About virtue signaling and trying to share this wisdom on social media. Shit like that. Shit like the Prince Ia shit. Prince, like, shit like something Neil deGrasse Tyson said, something that Steve Jobs said. People share that shit on their feed all the damn time. Here's the thing. And I pointed out, there's a small issue and a big issue. The small issue is a personal issue, right? Because the small issue is, well, it's virtue signaling. When you say shit like that, when you say like, this person really understands your problem with racism and all this stuff they put on their feed. Oh, this person really gets what's going on. Well, what the fuck is the matter with you? Like, my observation of the people that post shit like that, because it's just a repost. They don't even post. It's not their words. They never have their own words. They just post what they think are other people's smart words, hoping that you'll see it and tell them how smart they are for copying or basically just reposting somebody else's words of wisdom, right? And the words of wisdom are always, it's always really safe, like, oh, well, your educational system is failing kids, or the environment, we're really failing the environment, right? It's always something really safe like that. And people get around a circle and they start chanting it like, oh, education, we need to fix education. We don't like it. We're failing our kids. You're so brave for saying that. You're so first off, what is the matter with fucking you? That's you get addicted to feeling like you've done something positive by sharing something on your social media feed, right? You post it, people, you posted something, Emma Watson said, people think you're so smart and so brave now. Wow. Remember that part where Joss Whedon got up and he took a stand, and you post that shit. And like 3 or 4 dumbasses hop on your feed and you're like, that's right. Yeah, you tell them, right? Education is failing the kids. And like I said, it's a really safe, popular sentiment. Nobody's going to fucking argue about that. Nobody's going to argue that with you. Am I getting banned? What's going on? What the hell? Huh. Let's see what we got. I don't know what... Am I losing? Do we lose bandwidth or something? Wow. Let me ask in the comments. Okay. I think we're back. We'll see. Okay. So anyway, right? So you post all this shit, and like you become. The truth is, you become addicted to that. You become addicted to that satisfaction. Like I shared something wise today. I put positivity out there, and the minute somebody starts saying something like, well, actually, he meant this, then, if it causes a freak out and everybody freaks out about it. You just had problems on another live stream a few minutes ago. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's all the live streams on a Friday night. It could be maybe too many. What's up, Liger fan? So that's the small issue, right? That's the small personal issue. The whole virtue signal. I'm going to virtue signal on social media thing. Let's look at what this is actually doing, right? Let's broaden it up. Let's make this a little bit of a bigger issue now. So you have this environment now where, and I just kind of crossed over into that a minute ago. So you have this environment where, everybody's sort of sharing these very safe opinions, right? It's like we're a family. Let's pretend we're all family, and the car broke down. Okay, the car broke down. Okay, and so we're all out there looking at the car, and and then one person says, "Well, this wouldn't have happened if we had proper car maintenance," and the other person would be like, "Yeah, the car is broken down. Yeah, that was very brave. That was very insightful for you to share that." And so they start patting each other on the back. You have all these people that uh, they get into the problem, right? They get into the problem and they focus on the problem, and they congratulate each other for pointing out a problem that everybody agrees with. Okay. Then you have people that want to say, okay, we all get the problem. Let's move on to some solutions. But because there are people so addicted to collecting approval for pointing out the problems, they never want to get into the solution. And furthermore, the people, the wise ones, they're always pointing out the problem. They never get into the solution. You want to know why? Because it's always a very complicated solution. It's the reason why there's still fucking problems, people, is because there isn't an easy answer. One has not crawled up from out of the ocean and presented itself as the solution. There are nuanced things. We're still trying to work this shit out. But the problem is when you have basically these sheeple that spend all their days posting about where the problem is, and being brave and being congratulated for posting problems. The minute somebody starts talking potential solutions, and here's the problem, like I said, there are no easy solutions. So when people are going to post solutions on social media to complex problems, they're not going to be fleshed out, defended. Some of them are just going to flat out be bad, right? But those are the people that are in the mode of, well, let's fucking fix it. And the thing is about the internet is there's this weird protective bubble of, well, it's very safe to point out problems, but it's not okay to start poking around and asking difficult questions for solutions. That gets offensive. People's feelings get hurt. Now you're actually having to explore issues for yourself. You're actually going to have to fight in those gray areas, right? And that's where people start going at each other's throats. Then somebody labels the whole discussion toxic. People get banned, shut down, and then suddenly you're not allowed to talk about solutions. That's the fucking problem. Okay, that's the problem with this. Oh, I'm gonna post this another thing where they tell us that America is not great again for the 45th fucking time, so that people can tell me how wise I am for pointing out that America has problems. And the minute you go in there and go, hey, wait a minute. What is the best country and why? What are, if you really don't like it here, are there personal solutions for you? Maybe you need to fucking leave. And it's not even like in a critical manner. Like, okay, you really don't believe that. You don't want to pay into the system. You don't want to be productive about the problem. You don't want to get into the solution. Like, maybe you shouldn't be pointing out the problem all the goddamn time. If you're not interested in solutions, and that's the thing. That's the heart of it, isn't it? There's a lot of people out there that, because they profit so much from pointing out problems, that they're not interested in solutions. Because solutions, like I said, are hard. Discussing solutions are difficult. Making tough choices are hard. And the people that are trying to do that can't actually converse with other people that are trying to do that, because everybody is living by that mantra of, well, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all. and that's the worst fucking piece of advice I think I've ever heard in my entire life. It's the worst adage. My mama told me if I don't have nothing, well, your mom's fucking dumb, okay? Right? Because if the car's broken down and we need to fix the car, and we can't talk about, hey, well, you left the goddamn, tools at home. We need to discuss that. We need to know what tools are actually here. We need to know if somebody in the car is actually causing the problem. We need to get into some difficult shit if we're going to fix this problem. But the whole, you have nothing nice to say, and enforcing that and gagging people when they're tossing out ideas and basically, trying to control the conversation and keep everyone in the problem. Well, that's the issue. That is now overshadowing the original issue. Now it's not. Now we have to fight two layers. Yeah, the car is broken down, but first we have to get to the point where we can actually get past the people that won't let us talk about the fact that the car is broken down, and let's talk solutions. Because they just want to they want to sit there over the dead body like Fight Club and just chant his name was Robert Paulson, right? They don't want to talk about what the problem is. I mean, they don't want to talk about, like, okay, what's the solution? What do we do moving forward? What are some of the tough choices we have to make? Because that's hard, right? Because reposting Michelle Obama is easy. It's easy and it's safe. You get satisfaction out of it. And as long as you can keep doing that and keep pointing out problems and feel good about yourself. Oh, I feel so good about, oh man, they told me how brave I am. I posted Emma Watson. They told me how safe I am. You have created this shitty environment. You have and the people around you are fostering this fucking zombie mentality where we're not allowed to talk about potential solutions to problems that everybody pretty much agrees with. Yeah. Everybody kind of agrees. Prince Ia, everybody gets it. You didn't learn anything in high school, no shit. Like, everybody feels that way. Okay, well, what do you want to do about it? I don't know. Well, let's talk about, maybe shaking things up around the around the Board of Education, oh, no, you can't. And, we put, and don't get me wrong, I think Betsy DeVos is kind of a moron. Like, I'm not a fan of hers. But the fact that they put an outsider in there has freaked people the fuck out so bad that they won't even hear her. They won't even give her a platform to speak. They chase her out of schools, right? That's the problem, because it's so easy to just get on social media and go, education is your problem. It's like, okay, well, can you guys that have been in the problem the whole time, can you guys work on producing a viable solution? And the fact of the matter is, a lot of them don't want to. And furthermore, there are people that make money off of just standing around telling everybody else about what a problem these things are without actually fixing them. Because it's a popular message. People, they go, oh, well, he has a lot of really good points, a lot of good things to say, and I'm just going to keep reposting them. Well, okay, well, if he's got a lot of good things to say, can we let that fool start the conversation then on the solution, right? I'll be the first, I'll sit there and listen. Okay, well, what's your idea? And let's challenge that idea. And let's put some other ideas out and let's challenge those. And we can challenge those vigorously, and we can actually talk and have a discussion, but nobody wants to have that. The climate's not built for that. Everybody is too busy being silenced because any or all criticism or any opposition whatsoever is offensive or racist or sexist or homophobic or Islamophobic or transphobic or something. It's all bad. Any attempt or any approach at actually tearing apart a situation, dissecting an issue in order to try to find an answer, is offensive And so you can't be productive at all. That's the thing. The whole maintenance of this type of discourse, which is actually a lack of discourse, is like keeping us all in the problem. We're all going to just be helpless victims, essentially. And we're just going to have to wait around and see if somebody can magic bullet this bitch, because we're not allowed to talk about it, right? We're not allowed to say, well, okay, well, what if we change the leadership? What if we what if we actually ran, before we even get into that though, what if we actually challenged the notion of how we're framing the problem, right? Is the problem the educational, is the problem the teachers? Is the problem the students? I happen to think the problem is mostly administration. I think the problem with education is, and I think my wife would actually disagree with me on half of this. But from the outside, from an ignorant person standpoint, I'm not saying I'm just a stupid taxpayer on the outside, but to me, it seems to me that the problem is there's too much fucking government. There's too much red tape. Things are terribly inefficient. We're moving kids through the system because it's profitable to somebody, and we don't really care, if they have any skills or not. And I really do think that the beginning of the solution is really challenging the leadership around it, challenging our government to say, okay, we spend the most money on education. California spends the most money on education versus the rest of the country, right? This state spends more on education than like the next 3 states combined, and we're 47th in education, right? So these are all like popular things people can get behind and go, "Woo, yeah, that's right," and they agree with that shit, right? Because it's true. But no one ever talks about, okay, well, what are the solutions? What if the solution is just to fucking fire all the administrators, really, and then and really, start to deregulate it, or start to pull some of the government officiating out of it, give some power back to the teachers and their classrooms, right? And then, and then just getting to that point is a pretty drastic thing. And getting to a point where, the goal is to get to a point where you can challenge stuff like, okay, how about, instead of having subjects taught this way, why don't we frame them in terms of, gaining real life skills, that kind of thing. You spend more, but that could be a product of, yeah, it's true. It's true that it's a big part of that is the fact that we have a larger education or a larger population, but per student, we spend more. Per student, we spend more. And what if I were to say the teachers in our state don't necessarily make more than teachers in other states? That a lot of it is because we have to run all of these different assistance programs for kids, for the specialized needs of kids in California. Like I was saying, California has, we are home to a quarter of the nation's homeless population, and that includes children. We're also a state that is heavily influenced by our immigrant population. So we have a number of kids that don't speak English as their primary language. And so there's all of these government assistances to help those kids in education, to help their parents in education, to make sure, that the homeless kids and all those kids have, and then special needs. When it comes down to it, once again, just like it is with the adults, it's the sort of middle class of the kids are the ones that are failing, or the ones that the system is failing the most, or the kids that are in the middle, right? the average kids, the ones that, they speak English and, they may not have any special needs or anything like that, but there's not enough resources for them. And they keep having to, you have, I don't know what they call it, inclusion now. You can't do, you don't do like, I don't know how they address bilingual classes now, but it's a lot of team teaching. And it's just programs on top of programs on top of programs. And so we spend all this money on it, and we push these kids through that system, right? We got to keep them moving. So they're going to graduate. We're going to graduate. And they get out, and then it's the Prince Ia thing again. Oh, I didn't learn anything in school. Well, no shit, man. Can we talk about why? Can we talk about what can be done? Right? It's sad, but I'm going to say something that is just absolutely, completely offensive to say, but I'm just going to say it. I think there's a majority of taxpayers in California whose kids are in public school who are failed by those public schools because they're the middle income families of California. They saddle up a vast amount of the taxes that go into the educational system. But that educational system is not for their kids. That educational system is for everybody at the bottom. And we just keep funneling money from the middle to the bottom. And so the people at the very, very top, they don't feel it. But the people in the middle, they feel it the most, right? That's the whole issue with like California, not just educationally, but basically in everything. California, a lot of people, I could go into like histrionics here and say that California absolutely hates having a middle class. But I mean, it's kind of dumb to go, oh, it's a conspiracy to kill the middle class. Yet you could provide some evidence for it. You know what I mean? Like you can actually, I'm not saying you could win that argument, but you could sure as hell make it. You could sure as hell present a lot of evidence to that notion. But back to my point, it's this whole, we need to keep this atmosphere of saying things that are polite, keeping our statements safe, and never actually discussing problems. And it's a system that too many people I've seen perpetuate around them. And so anyways, I wrote this all out. Like I gathered my thoughts because, my wife kind of challenged me. She's like, well, what is it about this that bothers you? Are you upset that these people are getting lots of attention? Do you just not like them for other reasons? Why does this bother you? And I had to sit down and collect my thoughts. And I really got into, asking, why do people share shit like that? And first off, why do people make shit like that? Right? Because you can make that, America is not that great speech and have that go viral. And, people freak the fuck out. They think it's like the smartest, wisest thing ever said. And then, so you collect your views, you collect your money, you collect your accolades, and you get the fuck out of there long before anybody has any idea about discussing solutions. Because once it gets to solutions, right? These guys get up and in their award shows and shit, these fucking celebrities that piss me off. And another thing, we gotta do this do you guys remember that Jim Carrey shit just say yes to socialism. And I'm like, I wanted to institute something, and my wife thought it was ridiculous, but I don't care. I had two thoughts, right? One is, I think there's freedom of speech, right? So Jim Carrey can say stupid shit like that, and he's totally entitled to say it. If anybody actually tried to deplatform him, I would be against that. No, let him come out and say how stupid he is. Like, let him come out and say that. That's fine. That's okay. But I would say there needs to be a mechanism by which you can chat, especially if you're the government and you hear shit like that. That's got to be music to your ears, right? Because socialism, communism, that kind of stuff, that's ultimate power for the state. They would they went from 6 to midnight in their pants like that. They cannot wait for shit like that. But here's the thing. I would strike a deal with Mr. Carrey and say, okay, Jim Carrey, you know what? You're right. It's time to say yes. It's time to say yes. And why don't we start with you? Right? And so my idea around this is, okay, we'll strike a deal with Jim Carrey, and we can tell Jim Carrey, listen, you can live your utopia. You can live as a socialist. Here's what you'll do. We promise you, for the rest of your life, for the rest of your natural life, you and your kids, okay, not their kids, because your kids are going to have to kind of renew their socialism subscription, I guess, for lack of a better term. For the rest of your life, we will give you 3 hot meals a day. We will give you a place to live. We'll pay all your utilities and your rent, and we'll make sure you're fed and clothed. Hollywood, they have all kinds of, they have accountants. They have people that skip their taxes all the time. We will take care of you. The government will take care of you. Just surrender all of your private property, because that's going to pay for your living and your children's living. You guys get an apartment. You can live in an apartment. We're going to seize all of your homes, right? Jim Carrey, we know you have 3. We know you have 2 mansions in the LA area. We know you've got some property in Canada. We're going to seize all of that to take care of you and your family for the rest of your days. Like I said, you get to live out your socialist dream. This is going to go, and then the rest of it's going to go to us, the government, and we're gonna give it to somebody. I don't know, citizen, non-citizen, doesn't matter. We're gonna decide. I don't know. Maybe we'll give it to ourselves. That could be part of that as well, right? I think that should be an okay thing. Like, that should be an option. That way, not force him into it, but just say, look, that's a thing. You'll also have to give up certain rights of free speech. You're not allowed to carry any weapons, right? Because we can't have an armed citizenship, and your bodyguards can't either, right? Oh, by the way, you don't need bodyguards. You're not going to have them anymore. We're just going to give you what you need to live, because socialism is a good idea. So I was like, let's just do that, right? Because enough of these rich, dumb motherfuckers want to say that, like, the government's going to be rich. They're right? They can pay to feed that fool and his family, like, just give them slop every day, and right, and like, hey, what are you talking about? This is not a problem. This is exactly how we treat people in socialist countries. We should totally just do that. Sounds like a great idea. My wife just like, yeah, that sounds a little. She thought it was a little dramatic. The other thing I said too, though, is I said to her, well, the other part of this is you have all these people that, need to talk shit about America, right? And they hate America. They can't stand it. They're ashamed to be American. They want to go live in Canada or France or something like that, right? Here's celebrities saying that shit all the time. I think, and they're allowed to say it, once again, they're allowed to say it, but put the option on the table. I looked into it, okay? And it costs Right now, it costs you $2,600, $2,644 to renounce your American citizenship. That's how much it costs. And the reason why it costs so much is because the government has found that the people who tend to renounce their U.S. citizenship are rich people that are trying to get away with not having to pay taxes on property they own in the U.S. So a lot of very, very wealthy people have renounced their U.S. citizenship, and so the government has imposed a fee of $2,644 to renounce your citizenship. And one of the rules is, once you renounce your U.S. citizenship, you can never get it back. Okay, that's the current system for renouncing your citizenship. So I proposed that, okay, well, why not let's make it free. Let's make it free for the next, 4 years, right? The next 4 years, it's free. And if you really hate this country, if you really, you don't think citizenship is a big deal, it doesn't hold any value to you, then give them the option. Say, here, you can renounce it. You can just renounce it. We'll waive the $2,644. You can do it for free. Okay. Well, hell, we'll file the paperwork, and you can renounce your citizenship. And just like it is today, it's irrevocable. You can't get it back. But we're going to give you options, right? I'm not talking about making people less free. I'm talking about making them more free, right? Like, let them. If they really feel that way, if they feel that, talk is one thing, but if you put it on the table and you showed up to one of these press conferences where somebody's freaking out about how bad America is, and you can tell them, okay, well, here, I got the paperwork right here. It's free. Why don't you renounce your citizenship? We're not the country for you. We don't like it. It's $2,644, right? If you don't really just can't stand it here, or if you feel like, because I will call some bitches out, right? I will call them out and say, look, I see you guys like out here marching. There's no such thing as an illegal human. Okay, well, I agree. Yeah, no, they couldn't afford, but that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, just make it free. Just waive it. Like, if you really don't think it matters, to be an American citizen, if you're ashamed of being an American citizen, or, if you want to stand with your undocumented brothers, because you stop being a fucking hypocrite, right? Because you benefit off this system. So we're just going to make it free. You can just renounce it. That's my solution. Just say, and then you just walk up to them like, here, it's free. You just sign the paperwork. If you really feel that passionate, stop being a hypocrite. Okay, stop benefiting from a system while you're saying that oh, everybody should be here, and you don't care what their status is. Well, here, renounce yours. If it's really if there's really no value to it, go ahead, give it up. There you go. And that's it. That's all I was saying. I need free 99. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying. I'm like, you're not even changing the system. You're not imposing upon anyone's free speech. You're actually just giving them another option. Here, it's free now. Go ahead. You can renounce for free if you want. This is I don't know. I'm a big believer in put your money where your fucking mouth is. If you're gonna talk your shit like that, then you better be prepared to back it up, because that's like the last thing that I like is a shit talker that just can't, like, that isn't going to back it up. You tell them when they talk this and that about whatever. So yeah, that was like the mini rant on the side to my other rant. But yeah. Oh shit, I mixed that color too early. Okay, so you got cartoony eyes here. Blah. I think this guy has this. What's up, Canvas? Saw some people pop in here. Jose is here. What's up, man? Boop. See, I don't. That's not chibi to me. That's not chibi to me. I don't know. It just looks like somebody. It's more, I guess, caricature. I guess that's what I'm gonna say. It's more caricature. It's not. It is not like this guy, that guy. I think one of these guys has red eyes or whatever. She has blue eyes, right? Well, Strider has red eyes, I believe. So I got to do her, and I think Legolas also has blue eyes. Told a coworker eating ice cream, which I should not be doing this late. Yeah, probably not, but shit, I love ice cream. I don't get to eat it much though. Told a coworker I'd buy his plane ticket. All he doesn't complain about here. His parents own businesses, paid for his college. Which I literally worked for mine. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like, just make it. I'm not talking about taking away their platform because I'm totally against that. I think you should be allowed to say whatever the fuck you want to say. You should be allowed to, but you should also be allowed to call bullshit on people and give them the option to be a hypocrite in the public sphere. If you're going to be in the public sphere claiming this and that, you should be able to say, okay, look, I got the paperwork right here. All you got to do is sign it. You don't like it? Prove it. But hell, that's just one of my messed up thoughts all the time. Ooh, this is a good blue. That's a good blue. Actually, maybe I should do magic blue. Yeah. The other thing was I was gonna do, which I don't know. We had, me and Jose played some Arcadia. And Arcadia is fun. It's a fun game, right? I love the miniatures. I would recommend people play it. It just made me sad. I don't think that face-to-face rolls are very good for balance. I think they're too. I think Arcadia is one of those games that are just super, super swingy. Kiss Arcadia. Yeah. I love the game. I'm going to continue to play it, but the dice rolling mechanic in that game is so swingy. And it's, in my opinion, face-to-face dice rolls on games are by their nature are very, very swingy. And let me explain, right? So there are games like Arcadia, Frostgrave, even Infinity, where you roll a die and your opponent rolls a die. And on the surface, it sounds like a good idea, right? Because you're like, you know what? I've been playing 40K for years, and the one thing I hate about 40K and say War Machine is when the other guy's taking his turn, you literally just have to sit there, bend over, and hope he lubes up a little bit before he starts rolling them dice, right? And War Machine might be even a little bit worse than that because you're being a secretary to your own death. Like, that fool is going to roll them dice, and he's going to make you catalog every bit of damage. Like, oh, make sure, mark the fucking box. This is what you're doing during my turn, right? So you bend over when it's not your turn, and you just sit there and take it. So a face-to-face roll is a very, it's kind of a welcome sight in all that, because you're like, man, I'm sick and tired of not being able to do anything while my opponent just sort of sticks it, right? Well, while he just sort of, he makes me bend over and shove it in when it's his turn to go. But I argue that the face-to-face roll is not the right way of doing that. I think AROs are cool. That's a cool way to handle some of it. But yeah, rolling your dice against rolling another guy's dice is bad. It's not. It's just way too swingy. Okay, and here's the thing. With regards to luck, if you have shitty luck, you might know what I'm talking about. Some people have shitty luck where they can't roll high dice. They can't roll favorable dice, right? You need a 5, you need a 6. You can't get your 5 or your 6. You're just fucked. You can't do it, right? That's not for you. You just can't do that shit. Other people have bad luck where you can roll your 5 or your 6, but your opponent is going to roll all 6s, right? I feel like this all the time. I'm like, oh man, he needs a 6 to hit. Oh shit, right? So you might have that bad luck where it's the opponent rolls like a god and overrides a lot of the shit you're trying to do. Then you might be in Class C. The reason you're painting eyes for. Then you might be in Class C, where you get both, where not only can you not hit a high die, your opponent rolls amazingly well against you. And it's the people in Class C Class C shitty luck, that really, really feel the full brunt of the face-to-face roll, right? Because the face-to-face roll swings that variation out even wilder, even further. So, you can't hit a 4. You can't hit a 4. You roll your dice, you can't hit a 4. Your opponent rolls his dice, he rolls all 6s. And guess what? In the face-to-face roll, it's often the difference of those two things that determine the severity of the result, right? And that's why face-to-face rolls are shit. They think they're shitty mechanics. Like they're shitty mechanics that seem like a good idea, but they're not. They're too swingy. There's too much. There's too much variation, and you should be allowed to do things in your defense when somebody's attacking you. In games, you should be allowed to do things in your defense. I really like systems like Arena Rex and Guild Ball, where you can counterattack, you can defensive stance, you can do things that can narrow the severity rather than broaden it, right? Because yeah, in a face-to-face roll, there are odds that you can walk away as the defender and not take a scratch, right? Not take a lick of damage. But then there are also times where your guy that you had buffed all turn, that's like really in really, really good shape, is just going to get one-shotted. And it's just too variable. It's too swingy. If you're looking for a more, I guess, a more balanced, steady situation that's going to reward a player with a better overall strategy, a player that can position better, that can stack their odds a little bit better, then you shouldn't. Then the face-to-face roll is not. You would agree that it's not the best mechanic. We saw that firsthand, because it's like it made the game. It made the game bad for both of us, right? Because you want to win your game. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, you want to win your game. But you don't want to win your game just because you rolled miraculously and your opponent because your opponent rolled like shit and you rolled like a miracle. You want to win your game because you made the right decisions at the right time. That's my opinion. You know, I think that you want to win your game because you played it smarter on the board. And yeah, sometimes luck was in your favor. Of course, these are dice rolling games. There is the RNG. You still have to pay tribute to the god RNG when you're playing these games. But you don't want it to be like, think about Frostgrave. I rolled a 1, the other guy rolled a 20. I took 27 points of damage. What's up, Rugi? I paint them first. I paint eyes first, and I'll show you why in a minute here. So, because it has to do with outlining the eyes and getting the shape of the eyes correct. Now, like 2 of these miniatures, I actually can. You actually do paint proper chibi eyes in for, like this one. All right, so you paint the main color of the eye. Paint the center of that eye, the pupil. Ooh, I gotta fix the shape of that pupil there. But yeah, that's why, that was one of the reasons, that was one of our criticisms of Frostgrave too. It's like, it's fun. It's just so swingy. And swingy can be fun. I think swingy can be fun when you do want to just play something absolutely ridiculous. I think there's a time and place for games like that. Aristea is, like I was saying before, it should be a little more competitive than Rumble Slam. Rumble Slam's like further out on the beer and pretzel scale. So it should be more competitive than Rumble Slam, but it's not as competitive as Guild Ball. But Aristea for me is, the majority of that game is how much I just really like painting the miniatures, just how cool those miniatures are. Mind the swinginess of Frostgrave? It makes for some hilarious and brutal episodes. It does. And like I was saying, if you're in for that, great. If you were to play a tournament for Frostgrave and you were like, I want to see how well I can actually play this game. Not that you would. I don't think Frostgrave is that type of game. And I don't think it will ever really be considered in that vein personally. I'd be surprised if somebody actually does think, no, Frostgrave, man. Pro Frostgrave, bro. You better get your Frostgrave shit together, bro. You better get good at Frostgrave. I don't think anyone's gonna do that. But Aristea, potentially. Right? I mean, there's probably gonna be worldwide organized play for Aristea because it's Corvus Belli. So I do think that Corvus Belli will see some stuff like that. Now, would I go play in an Aristea tournament? Hell yeah, I would. That would be fun. But I wouldn't. I think me going to an Aristea tournament is very different set of expectations as me playing a Guild Ball tournament, right? If I'm playing a Guild Ball tournament, I'm expecting to play tight. The onus is on me. And from somebody that does not consider himself a competitive gamer, I think that I really appreciate that Guild Ball really kind of allows me to enjoy the competitive side of miniature gaming without feeling like an absolute dick. Right? It does. It does, because the people who are playing Guild Ball, the focus for them is trying to play their best game. That's what everyone, everybody that's actively playing Guild Ball in our meta, we're all trying to get better at our own game. There is this sort of rivalry. Yeah, I need to beat, I need to beat Kevin's Masons, or I need to beat Nathan's Hunters, or, that kind of thing. There is that. I need to beat Octave's ridiculous Midas team. There is that, but ultimately it's about, becoming a better player, making better decisions on the board, really getting into some of that kind of stuff. Look at Legolas here. He's a little cockeyed, but that's his sculpt. Now, here's the tough part. Trying to get that little chibi, that little swing, little light dot. And because the eyes are such different sizes, is this even going to make sense when I do it? So you got a little dot there. And then here it's going to be just a weird eye. See how much bigger that eye is? It's weird. All right. What color are Strider's eyes? Where's that Strider card? Strider. His eyes are kind of red. Kind of like a deep red. And then we're going to start with the skin. Do you guys have any idea as far as what one eye was kind of squinty? As far as like head-to-head combat mechanics, what are some mechanics you think are good in miniatures games that you've played, and what are some that you think need to be better? What did I just do with that color? That color. But yeah, the Eldorado combat system, I really like that system. I like that one a lot. You get a maximum of 5 dice. Anytime a modifier takes you above 5 dice, you get rerolls. Love that. And then anytime you get above 10 dice, you get automatic successes. And so you were able to keep your playbooks really small and simple. It's basically 5 categories of result that you could get. So I really liked that. Also, and that's also very similar. It's very similar in design to the Guild Ball attack playbook and Arena Rex, the Arena Rex combat trees. Those are all really neat designs. And like I was saying, they allow you to feel like attacker and defender both play a part, and they're not terribly swingy. Similarly, like Relic Knights, that game that's not really a game right now. That game has a cool combat mechanic because, it's you pay the cost for something, it happens. The other guy pays the cost for his thing, it happens. They changed it a little bit with the flipping armor mechanic. It's not terrible. The mechanics aren't so swingy that like the whole game is destroyed if you fail a roll. Although damage is so that you can actually buff a bunch of damage in the game. But at no point is it so random that like, oh, I flipped the wild, you flipped the void, and I just did 51 damage to you type of thing. You can stack it and set it up to where you do crazy amounts of damage. That's for damn sure. All right, so let me show you what we're talking about here. So I paint the eyes in first, right? Then you take your base skin color. And you're just going to use this base skin color to cut the shape of the eye, right? So you paint, you carefully kind of paint around the outside of the eye to get it the shape that you want. Right, so you start to trim that line, start to trim down that black outline there. With the chibi eyes, she looks more surprised than anything. Right? She doesn't look like she's like being fierce about it. She almost looks like she's trying to huck a pie at you. You're going to bed? All right, good night, Congo. Thanks, man. Take it easy, man. There we go. And really, you just carefully bring it in until you get the eyes you were hoping for. You do the same with the mouth. And with chibi miniatures, that's the part you really, it's really it. That's the part you have to get right. The rest of it is very easy to paint. It's just basic painting once you get past the eyes and the face. Right? Because that's really where people are going to be focusing their attention when they look at the miniature. It's going to be on the face. It's so very important to have the face looking correct. Yeah, I mean, yes, this one looks the most like a chibi I would expect. Her head has a weird shape to it. I guess she's kind of like a Valkyrie type character. She has a gold necklace on there, and then she kind of has like the metal bikini going. This character here probably has the most amount of skin showing of all of them. But you see, okay, so now you can see where there are some areas here that I need to fix on the face. And then draw that in a little tighter on the eyes. And then draw this side in tighter. right? Still, the shapes are not consistent on these eyes. This miniature is pretty cool though. I just don't understand why she's. I know it's like a magic puffball thing she's got in her hand. It just looks like a pie though. Let the great pie fight begin. See? I'm gonna throw this pie at you, see? I'm not convinced I did the best job on her eyes. I think it goes like that. Yeah. She's wearing like a bikini type thing. So I can just kind of paint into it like that. Or lettuce. She might be throwing cabbages. She might be. Me. All right, let's do Legos because he has the weird eyes. But this is like the most satisfying part of painting Chibi, though. You get the eyes right, and the whole model just sparkle. Just looks great if you getting the eyes right on Chibi. He's very important. So there's a lot of black outline there. It's like Legolas is wearing a little guy liner, let's say. See, to me, that's easier. That's why I paint the eyes in first. It's just easier to do that, to just come back in and shape the eye from the outside. Yeah, it looks like Legolas is about to stab some orcs in the eye. Yeah, my eye. My doctor said not to get pudding in that eye. Once again, I do not agree with the really weird decision to have his mouth open. It just looks so weird. What do you guys think of eyeliner Legolas here? If you have something bad to say, I'll just say, well, my mom says you have nothing good to say. I'm telling you, I hate that. I hate that entire attitude. If you have something not nice to say it louder, right? But don't say it in anger. Don't say it out of hatred or spite. Come from a place of trying to help somebody solve a problem or identify an issue. He needs more bags under his eyes. Why? Because Legolas is not sleeping? Because they decided they wanted him in the Hobbit trilogy? There you go. Everyone wants to get with him because he's so beautiful. He's such a beautiful little elf guy. I just don't know how it's, yeah, that eye is so big. Let me trim at least the outline down. I don't know, man. I don't know. Some people get the elf sweats. Strider here has almost no exposed skin. Strider. Yeah, he's just the face, just the top of his face. I'm going to be a little more careful here because he has white hair. But I'm also going to probably leave a little bit more of the black circle around the eye than I normally would, just because, like I said, he is sort of an edgelord. Yeah. I'm not sure what this guy is a reference to. Is he like a Final Fantasy character or something? He doesn't. You guys tell me. I never played any of the Final Fantasy games. You know, if I keep his skin sort of gold colored like this, he does kind of look like just a regular ass like Japanese ninja. I'm pretty sure he's like a rogue in this game or an assassin. Okay, and then you got this dude. All right. So that was it for my mini rant. Anybody have anything else they need to bring up, get off their chest, disagree with me about? Do we need to talk about the U.S. Open? Do we need to do that? There's a bunch of videos on that. I don't really want to talk about that. I'm just bringing it up because, that's just the hot topic. Right now, there's like a wave of Kickstarters. They're out or going out. There's a bunch of miniatures games that are expanding. And then, for us personally around here, Guild Ball Season 4 looks like it's going to be very exciting. Be a very exciting season. The new shortened Blood Bowl game. I have not heard of this. I've not been keeping up with Blood Bowl at all since GW took the game back. I haven't really followed it. So can you tell us a little bit about the Blitz format? A shortened version of Blood Bowl sounds intriguing. Right? That might be worth playing. Your folklore arrives tomorrow? Nice. This guy does not need to have such black lines around his eyes. So I'll trim that down a little bit. He's just weird, kind of cockeyed. These guys will start to go fast once we get the skin done. They start to go pretty quick. This kind of skin, if I can keep the layers on smoothly enough, I don't need to wash or anything. Appears very streamlined. Some sudden death rules that kick in after so many plays or scores. I don't know how much, too much, but there's several positive reviews out. That's cool. Do you still play 11 players on the field or no? I think that's a major time deterrent. Is on your turn you play 11. You have 11 pieces to move. Initial release is Barnes and Noble only. I personally thought Blood Bowl, timing-wise, was fine. You just had to stick by your 2-minute timer. You have 2 minutes to finish your turn, right? Both players get 2 minutes. They get 16 turns. And the game lasts 2 hours. Right around 2 hours or less. This guy is like resident edgelord, so he's supposed to have kind of like grayish skin. Whoa. May have cut that. Yeah, I did. I cut that a little too tight there on the bottom of the eye. Let me clear that out a little bit. Think you'll try it? Might be a gateway to full-on Blood Bowl. Do you play full-on Blood Bowl? I used to play Blood Bowl. 5-player Blood Bowl? It's interesting. What team would do really well 5-player Blood Bowl? Elves. Elves would do stupidly well. 5-player Blood Bowl. Norse probably do pretty well. Necromantic, because if two of your 5 players can be werewolves, you're gonna win. You're gonna automatically win. I don't know that Skaven would do specifically well, because I think Skaven need more of their positionals than other teams, but Skaven's a very strong Blood Bowl team. You don't play, okay. I am a long-time player Blood Bowl. There's still a very soft spot in my heart for that game. It was the last GW game I played, and frankly, I really, really liked it when they dropped the game and it was 100% fan controlled, the fate of the game. We had all those third-party miniature companies come out, and they still make some fantastic minis, like Shadowforge and Gaspez Arts, Impact Miniatures. There's quite a few of them. Kamixnos, there's Succubus Miniatures. So there's a lot of good ones in there. All those third party, being a member of the NAF, paying your dues, getting your free set of dice each year from the NAF. Very fond memories of Blood Bowl. Playing Blood Bowl leagues was awesome. Loved my Slan team. They don't have Slan anymore because GW never made miniatures for them. So GW made them illegal. And plus, Slan don't really fit the current GW. They don't fit the current GW lore. They don't fit the current, Warhammer Fantasy Age of Sigmar lore. Because everything got so serious. Slan used to be not a serious race. They're fun, though, frogs. I assume they expand the number of teams for Blitz Bowl. Maybe if Blitz Bowl is really, really simplified, that could be something I could play with my son. But my son wants to learn Guild Ball, though. Like, this face has a lot of character in it. It's just not character I care for. They're just ugly. They have a lot of character to them. Don't get me wrong, but they're ugly. Dark Elf 5-man team would be very strong. All the elf teams would be strong 5-player rosters. Like, how the hell are 5 players going to stop a War Dancer? Right? It's also... Yeah, these are supposed to be chibi. Seems like they're using a similar release strategy like Shadespire. I think more teams in individual boxes. That's cool. I may check it out. Like I said, if it's easy enough for my 4-year-old to understand it, then I will definitely play it with him. Because he was bugging me the other day. He was like, "Daddy, I want to learn how to play big kid games." I'm like, we play a lot of big kid games. We play SDE, we play Zombicide, we play Stuffed Fables, we play Rail Raiders, we play the one we've been playing, My Little Scythe. Like we play a lot of different games, my son and I. And he was like, "No, Daddy, I want to learn how to play Guild Ball." I was like, "Oh wow." I was like, "Son, Guild Ball is kind of a complicated game." And he's like, "Yeah, but Daddy, I'm a big boy." I'm like, "Well, can you get a little bit bigger and then Daddy will show you?" And he's like, "Yeah, when I turn 5, you can show me how to play Guild Ball." So that's the deal. When he turns 5, my son has an incredible memory, so he's going to remember. Like on his 5th birthday, he's going to tell me, "Daddy, can you teach me how to play Guild Ball?" His 5th birthday is coming up in, like, I want to say a little under 4 weeks. So I better get on it. Man, if my little 4-year-old learns Guild Ball, that's going to be wild. Well, he'll be 5. 5-year-old. If I have a 5-year-old that understands Guild Ball, that's crazy. I don't, I'm still fairly skeptical. My kid is extremely bright. That much is true. But I don't know. Guild Ball, man. So many adults struggle with Guild Ball. Like getting Guild Ball mechanics down. And Guild Ball mechanics, in the great scheme of miniature games, are not terribly difficult mechanics. The difficult part is remembering all of your interactions and how to play a specific team and how to adjust your strategies and how to, the mechanics, knowing the mechanics for Guild Ball are very, very easy, but being able to put together a cohesive plan to play your team into another team, totally different story. Is this dude shirtless? Forget. Is he shirtless? He is. Yeah, he's shirtless. Okay. He's got those big old monk beads, those Buddhist beads. I wonder what he's a reference to. He's pretty damn cool. He's one of my more favorite ones. He's not chibi, though. That's my main knock, but so what? He's kind of cool. Right? He looks angry. So we'll start layering up some skin after this. So again, eyes and skin, the much longest part. The longest part. Once you get eyes and skin done, the rest of this pretty damn smooth sailing. Yeah, what do you think? It's not too bad. And doing that was one of the easier one of the easier aspects of these chibi. Like, they're easier to paint than SDE miniatures, but they just don't look nearly as cool. All right. Start highlighting some skin. Let's see. I need more caffeine. Oh, is it really already 11:30? Shit. We didn't get that much done tonight. Well, let's get some of this. Alright. So tanned highlight's one of my favorites. Oh man. These Reaper droppers clog like mad. I don't know why. They get really clogged. So just poke them with an old airbrush needle. So these layers are going to go on kind of thin. You're going to do a couple of layers. So you're going to thin these out, try to get them on as smooth as you can. Like I said, you're probably going to do a couple of layers. Man, this brush is not behaving so well with this color. You can see how thin it's going down now. It's like not covering 100%, which is fine. You just want to lay those layers down thin and do a couple of them. Once you get the next layer down, it's going to look a lot cleaner. And hopefully, the most important part is just trying to keep it all smooth. Most important part. So you don't have to worry about being too stylized in the painting here. You're just trying to get a couple thin layers down. And let them worry about you'll deal with fine detail here soon enough on these. But you shouldn't have to worry about it yet at this stage. You're just getting a couple of base coats down. Making sure you've got, you can see how sloppy I'm getting with it. Because I have to go through and, paint all this armor in after anyway. So Like I said, as long as it goes down nice and smooth, you don't really care too much about the mistakes yet, but you will at some point. Okay, that's her. You can already tell you gotta let that whole face dry because it doesn't look too smooth right now. It's painting Legolas's face. Yeah, this is like the old school painting, man. Getting it all done with the brush. This just means I'm not nearly as fast as I used to be with just a brush. Which is okay. I'll slow down a little bit, try to get a little bit better quality out of the paint jobs. All right, there's that. So yeah, we're just gonna do 2 laps of this color. Because this first coat not gonna hide very well. It's not gonna cover very well, I should say. I don't know, maybe because this guy's Asian, maybe we'll only do one of the tan highlight on him. Just kind of leave him a little bit darker. I mean, he is cool looking. I just don't like most of these. But I'm glad I found a character that looks cool. So that if I'm ever forced to play this game, I can ask for, just give me the monk guy with the cool saw-bladed spearhead. This guy here, Edgelord, he's actually going to be more gray in color once he's done. We'll do a little, or kind of a like just more of an overbrush to hair. It's 1:30 here. You going to bed? Cheers. All right, man. Thanks, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm not gonna get. I mean, I'm just gonna do skin tonight. I don't think I'm getting that much further. Okay. Who does this guy look like? This guy reminds me of shoot. He reminds me of Joel Osteen, the crazy evangelist dude that wouldn't let people into his church when Texas was flooding and all those people went homeless. All those people lost their homes. Joel Osteen wouldn't let them stay in his giant church, and instead, there was like a local mattress. There's like a local mattress business there in town, and they just opened their warehouse to people and just let people sleep on the mattresses in there. That's amazing, man. Like that's what you call taking care of your community, man. That's awesome. And yeah, meanwhile, Joel Osteen wouldn't let people in. That sucks, man. This guy. This guy's like missing teeth. Like he's doing meth and preaching the good word. Okay. Did we do them all? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Strider. Strider's gonna have pale skin too. Pale skin may be a bit too much. We'll find out. Okay. I feel like pale skin may be a bit too much. Let's do this. Let's add a little bit of pale skin or fair skin to that tanned highlight. See if we can just get it looking half a step lighter. I think I can. It's the pie fight queen. There's almost no shading on this face. Hey, welcome back, Blade Wolf. Almost no shading on these chibi faces, right? You want them to look nice and clean. So if you have to do a couple of layers, but make sure it's smooth, and you'll be happy. Work today. Same here. I didn't even work a full day. Technically, it was my day off, but I had some catching up to do. So I did that, caught up, and then I had some time afterwards. So played a game of Arcadia, and also got in a game of Guild Ball, sort of. Didn't quite get to finish that, but that's fine. Still fun. Vet Hearn looks like a lot of fun. Just zip around the board. I still need to paint a Falconer's Guild, so that could be something I do after this mess is done. Paint up a Falconer's Guild, play it for a week, and sell it. My farmers team did not sell on eBay. It's interesting. So I think what I'm going to do there is I'll just wait for season 4 to happen. And there may be people excited to play farmers that want themselves a fully loaded out team with the limited edition model. Keep looking at mine and I'm just burned out. What, your Falconers? I'm not burned out on painting. I just wish I had my airbrush back. But these aren't the best minis to airbrush anyway, so not the biggest deal. I think he's next. These guys look like lunatics. Okay. So what are your guilds in order of priority for season 4, Blade Wolf? I'll tell you mine. I think my first decision on season 4 will be to look at the Masons roster and the Alchemist roster and decide where I want to start between those two teams, because it is going to be between those two teams for me as far as what my priorities are in season 4. I do want to put Masons back on the table and get to playing them again. But like I was saying, right now I consider myself more of an Alchemist player. So like a part of me says, well, why not just play to that? It's what you are. You're an Alchemist player. Play to your Alchemist team. And that makes a lot of sense. So I picked up Alchemist in season 1. Played them for a bit, hated the playstyle, got rid of it. Then Season 2, decided I want to try smoke and more alchemists, so I bought alchemists again. Painted up another team, didn't like it, sold it, and I didn't even realize this, but I did that on 2 separate occasions in season 2. And then when season 3 came along, I was like, oh, I'm going to build another alchemist team. And that could have gone a little bit better. It wasn't terrible, but could have gone a little bit better. Fish to see if they'll be good. Yes. Alchemist, if I switch up and my alchemist is my main, since it's fun. Hunter, since my clutch team, so they already have a minor guild. No, these are all good points. Man, I cannot wait to see something for like Midas season 4. I don't think they'll tease anything like that until like the very end. Because I'm expecting a big change there with Midas. Okay. Okay. I'm pretty happy with the skin where it's at. I think we're pretty good with that. Oops. Wait, yeah, he doesn't have. I was gonna say, I thought he had exposed hands. He does not. Gloves. Whew. Anybody else need? Let's do one more color on skin. We'll do fair skin. And it's just gonna be the latest of highlights. Certain guys get this. Yeah, you think be carefully planning your playstyles? Nice. So I'm just gonna put in a little tiny little highlight there. Top of the face. You can feather down if you're so inclined. Come on there in the boobies. A couple spots. Okay. There's Legolas. Okay. Nice. Let's do a little highlighting. Oh, Joel Osteen's actually a different color altogether. And this guy here, he's Asian, so he's not going to get this highlight. This guy will get the highlight. Oops. Forgot to get his other ear. Whoa, forgot to get his other ear and the bottom of his. That's not bad. Okay. Now let's do Joel Osteen's color. His skin definitely has like a gray appearance to it. So I think I want to try to find heavy warm gray. Or bone. Yeah, let's do a little heavy warm gray on Joel Osteen here. That's what I'm calling him from now on. He's just Joel Osteen. Okay. This all nice and mixed up. Let's make him Zombie Edgelord with his gray skin. Go. All right. This guy may be getting a wash just because he has a really weird skin tone. Pretty good. Okay. And then just a couple spots here. You like the beautiful ladies. He does. Just give him a little highlight. The super pale highlight. One thing I'll say is I like that you can't not make this guy look creepy. He just looks creepy no matter how you cut it. Yeah, he definitely just looks creepy as shit. He has like one of the best looking skin tones of all of these guys. There you go. Give him that purple hair and turquoise. Okay. Yeah. Pretty happy with all of these right now. There you go. So it's important to avoid the skin, specifically on the face. You don't want it to look chalky. That's the worst. So when at all possible, try to get it to lay down nice and smooth. Wow, that was a lot of work just to get that done. But these guys will paint up quick. But yeah, it is midnight. I'm just going to call it, go to bed, get up early in the morning. These are, I mean, like I said, it takes long to do that part. But once that part's down, look, I mean, it's just basic painting from here. All right, everyone. So with that's going to do it for this video. And they look good. They're not my favorite sculpts. I don't like how they look, but they're painted well. That's going to do it for this video. I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. What? End.